begin my day by spreading my writing room in daylight, followed by a soft and somber meditation in which I try to channel my inner child, Frederick. Next up, a fresh cup of jasmine green tea to really get the brain juices aflow. Oh my god, it's hot, so hot. Oh my god, I think it burned my nose hairs as well. We need to stop. Okay, now, back to where we began. Damn, all of a sudden I have the craving for a kosher baby dill pickle. That's quite hitting the mark. Yummy yum in my tum-tum. Okay, here we go. Chapter 1, page 1. Damn, now I want one of those little baby sausages wrapped in bacon. Before I know it, the evening is upon me, and I have yet to start chapter 1. Well, this is where true inspiration starts. This is the tale of young Peter. Oh yes, I quite love that. Oh, you cheeky bastard, you've done it again. That is how brilliance is made, children, all in a day's work.
What is up, folks? I hope you enjoyed that goofy little opener. That was lit with only one light, as I'm sure you could tell. It was with this bad boy right here. This is what we're going to be checking out today. This is the 180-watt bicolor LED panel from our good friends at D&O Lighting. I can tell you right out the gate that I love it. So what's cool is I have been working as the DP on a low-budget indie horror feature, and I put this bad boy to work right away. So here we go. In this first setup, we were shooting in kind of a bougie-style house there in West Hollywood. So basically what we're looking at here is a large kitchen with lots of windows, and if you look in the deep there, it looks like we're blowing out those windows, those doors in the back, but as you'll notice, when our talent opens up the door, you'll notice we still have full detail outside, so that's kind of cool. It's like, is it blown out? Oh, it's not. So what's helping me out here is ND in the matte box, of course, as well as this panel and a 600-watt HMI are helping fill the ambient room tone in that kitchen to battle the windows. Now, let me show you an overhead that I've quickly drawn up in Shot Designer to show you the architecture of this kitchen that we're shooting in so you can understand what's going on. So the camera is living on shadow side there. Meanwhile, on frame left there, you'll notice there's one large opening in the rear of the kitchen, all the way frame left. Then there's about 10 to 15 feet of wall, and then another large opening. So in that first opening in the rear is where the 600-watt HMI was set up, blasting through a half grid, while the other opening near camera is where I had the D&O panel set up, blasting through with no diffusion since this is already a very soft source. I liked it being a little more harsh as the talent was coming towards camera. You can kind of see it get a little hot on his head as he's walking past there. I quite like the look of it. Again, this is kind of a stylized horror film, so you know, it is what it is. I am just highly impressed by this panel. It was doing very well, especially next to that 600-watt HMI. I mean, this thing does pack a punch. Here's another case scenario where I was setting room tone with it. We were shooting at Envisionate Studios in Burbank, and we were shooting in a little office there. Now, this is all fake, you know, this is all fake set, and there's a one window there. While on the other side of the window, I set up my D&O light there on the other side, and it's just helping blast daylight through that window from the outside to kind of give the effect like it's you know, it could be an office somewhere in any town, you know, so just shooting that daylight through those blinds there. Now obviously inside of the office there's other fixtures set up to do the lighting, but like I was saying, I was using this D&O panel to establish the overall ambient room tone. And another cool way that I used it was on location. The sun had already gone down, it was nighttime, but we realized one of the shots had to take place during the day. So in a very low budget way, dog time style of trying to cheat the daytime, I took this D&O panel and shoved it all the way in the far right corner of the room that was off camera and just blasted it at the center of the ceiling, set to like 57 or 5600 Kelvin, one of those, and the light was just pouring down in that room. And as you can see, it's in the background where our talent crosses in the hallway where we're in the foreground, and it does kind of look like daylight in that upstage room. So this panel is pretty awesome. Now, in the way that I was using it on the feature is just setting that room tone, but as you saw in my opening sequence, you can use it for a lot of other cool things as well, such as those close-up shots. This will be a super killer panel for any of my guys doing small corporate work, talking head type stuff, or even take it on your narrative shoots like as you see as I've been using. So this is kind of a good all-arounder panel. Now this thing, they usually sell this for $9.99, but I believe right now D&O has a sale going on. These bad boys are selling for $5.99. Now I know that may seem like a lot, especially if you're just starting out, but I'm telling you, this panel is killer. Having an option like this where you can go at such extreme high outputs, and if you have diffusion, for instance, in my opening sequence, I was blasting it through a 6x6 of silent half grid cloth, So you can really soften up and make a beautiful image with this panel. Now this is not RGB, it is only bicolor. It runs from 3200 up to 68 or 6900 Kelvin, so it has a pretty decent range. While we're talking about that, let's look at the build quality of this thing, because that is really quite impressive as well. Now this thing is gorgeous. I just love the build quality, high grade construction here. Here you'll see you have your color temperature setting as well as your dimming. Now it does dim in 1% increments, but only once you get to 10%. So it basically starts out at 10%. You have a port here for DC as well as AC power. As you can see here, it does take V-mount batteries as well. Really nice build construction, really nice quality. So this is the little pop-out softbox it comes with. I actually love this. Now I did use this in the close-up shots of the coffee mug, and this is really good to do that, as well as I was using it for when we switched to nighttime, talking about the opening sequence. And that's kind of nice because you can get a softer, smaller source. In the beginning part of the opening sequence, like I said, I was blasting through a 6x6 of silent half grid, and that's to take this little source and turn it into a huge 6x6 source. But if you wanted to condense that, make a smaller source for any kind of insert shots or anything where you need just a smaller source, that's where this bad boy comes in. Now this is really cool. You saw how easy it pops out. So here you'll see how this kind of connects. You know, these are just little magnets, and those are on every corner. Your barn doors, if you wanted to pop those on. Now I know if you follow the Gaffer and Gear guy, he was telling us, he basically explained to us quite nicely about how, barn doors are kind of pointless on panels like this. However, I don't know, I sometimes like having the side barn door to kind of fight side spill if it's parked a little close camera side and you are limited on flags or, having extra hands to bring in an extra C-stand. So sometimes it actually is nice having the barn doors, mainly just for that side spill. I know it doesn't do as much as a bigger flag would do, but, they do kind of come in handy every now and then. I just wish with this particular panel there was an easier way to pop this on and off. It's a little cumbersome once you pop it off, and then having to get it back on is not something you can quickly do. So that is one thing where it's you just have to anticipate that you would need to take the time to properly reinstall this. But the power cable is really nice, very industry standard style cord. So it's the little things that count with me. I'm always impressed by decent build quality. And then finally, they do include a little remote here. And this is nice, you can control the color temp as well as the dimming on this bad boy. And what's kind of nice too, they have 3 color temp presets on the remote, so you can quickly cycle through each one. So it has 56, 45, and 3200 Kelvin presets programmed on this, so you can instantly go to those more kind of go-to color temperatures. Okay, so we looked at some BTS of it. You saw some real-world examples. I have my Sekana Lightmaster Pro here. Okay, so what I've done is I killed the background light and the edge light here, and all you see in the back here is what the DNO panel is putting out. Obviously, I still have my key light set up so you can see my face, but you can see what we're doing here. So we're all the way down at 3200 Kelvin, and there you'll see it goes from 0 to 12%. Every now and then, if I can get it to land, so really from 0 to 11%. Once you hit 11%, 3200 to 6. So the color temperature is actually 3200 to 6200 Kelvin. So I misspoke right out the gate there. But man, the output is insane. This is only 11%. And here we go. And you can see, I mean, that's at 100%, right? So it's kicking out a crap ton of level there. Here's 6 feet. So I'm gonna take the reading from 6 feet away. And we'll see how powerful this bad boy is. And 130 foot candles. You're looking at 1400 lux at 6 feet, which is 2 meters, or what is it, 130 foot candles at the 6 feet mark. So that's a pretty powerful light. We can dive in here into the ARRI Photometrics app if we wanted to, just for the sake of it, compare to one of these sky panels. LED. Ooh, they got the orbiter in there. Yeah, so we'll go with the S30. And yeah, you'll see at 5600 Kelvin at 6.34 feet is 134 foot candles, and we got 130 foot candles. So that's really quite impressive there. Or when we change it to lux, 1445 lux. So it is so I mean, pretty dang close to being the exact same output as a SkyPanel S30. So man, that is really quite dang impressive. All right, folks, so there you have it. I love this panel. I think it is killer. If you are looking to really up your game and having a really strong key light, a really nice panel that can really go a long ways no matter what you're doing, whether you're doing product photography, you're doing talking heads, corporate stuff, or if you need it for some narrative work, you need it to fill some ambient room tone. I mean, this panel has really been helping do it all for me personally. I love having it in the kit. I cannot recommend it enough. So I'll have links down in the description below. Hit up D&O, check it out, check out all the specs for yourselves, do your own research, but it comes highly recommended from me. So big shout out and gigantic thank you to D&O for allowing me to check out this light. I love the build quality. I mean, this is no problems with fans either. I should point that out. We've been shooting the feature film, so audio and all the scenes, and no comments or remarks from the audio guy, the boom op, about this panel. No problems at all in terms of fan noise or any of that. I mean, it really is a silent killer. Really, really beautiful light, nice color rendering. I love everything about it. So I'm gonna leave it to you guys to sort it out for yourselves. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for the support. If you want to dive in more and see more of that feature film shoot, that's what we do over on the Dog Times Patreon community. It's a DIY filmmaking group. We have a private Discord chat. We do all things over there. We talk pre-production, post-production, as well as breaking down all the projects that I work on, looking at projects that members work on. Lots of fun over there. So if you're interested in that, you want to be a part of a little DIY indie filmmaking club, you might want to check it out. Link down in the description below, and we will see you next week.